Hello.
Hello, Dunks. How are you doing?
I'm all right, thank you.
And this is the infamous Duncan Davis, is that right?
Should say that.
Oh. Would you be preferred to be called after some other nom de plume?
You can call me whatever you like.
Well, Dunks is a bit informal. I
James,
call...
always, every time anyone calls me Dunks, I always think of James. James was the first person to call me Dunks.
Well, that's not a bad thing. Let's think about James, because I was driving past Earlstoke today and with Maria Wheatley, and we did mention that. Dunks, whatever's happened there.
Yeah.
Well, so this is a telephone call. It's a little bit ad hoc, and there's no way we've done that sort of thing before.
No. Well, there's been huge developments.
I've had so many phone calls today, and so many people calling me. A couple of people with restricted numbers, and I don't answer withheld numbers.
No, I don't.
And they called me twice. They can't leave a message, which they don't like. And this very thing that you're about to talk about. Now, I had a girlfriend from America, and she was called Alice Slight, and she was very, very keen and very into labyrinths, and we went through quite a few labyrinths in the mid-90s, early to mid-90s, and Chartres, and my friend Marina at the time as well. We went to Chartres Cathedral, and I noticed the inverse proportionality of the cathedral. The further you got away, the bigger it got relative to the surroundings. But as you got closer, it got bigger, but it got smaller relative to the surroundings.
Yeah.
So there were time density or whatever, things like that. And I also noticed that happened with the Sky TV new studio block being built, that it had the same properties, which meant that whatever was going on at Sky Television and the BBC and all that, they're into this kind of thing with broadcasting.
Well, we could do a whole interview just on cathedrals.
Well,
I'm not going to do that now, but there's so much to say about them that's never been.
But you've sent me an email today, and I was in the Grail state a couple of weeks ago, and you've changed that. There are different ways you've done that, and this is what this is all about. So, Duncan Davis, take it away. You're on the air.
The last one is the first. I made the last one the first one, and it's never been revealed to the public before in the history of anything, really. And I put it in, and then I changed it to another one, and I'll change it again. It may get changed 2 or 3 times, but
so what is it? Okay.
The one with the thin lines. I can send you another picture if you need one.
Yeah. Well, it's important that we have the right graphics to visualize this for people. Okay.
I'm not going to talk about the first one too much because it represents. Just talking about that Grail state alone, you could talk for hours. But what it did, it changed reality. So if you look at the Grail state, you've got the green circles in the middle, you've got the labyrinth with a white path, and you've got the red ram's horn. And the north is where the pathway walks straight up to the outside of the checkerboard. The checkerboard is 12 squares by 12 squares, making 144, and 144 is one of the numbers in the Fibonacci series, which actually represents the sublime good of all the good things in life. The ram's horn was a code created by the Elohim a very long time ago to allow them to, using the male principle of males on Earth, to create their own realities. And it's not just something that's done on Earth, it's done within the universe and all the other universes within this megaverse that the Elohim have built. And I know full well a lot of people still think the Elohim are all good and everything, but it doesn't matter anymore because because of what I'm about to tell you. That's actually been done. The second Grail is and the green lines represent the dragon lines, like the ley lines of China and the Far East. The white line would normally, in all other Grail labyrinths, represent the Holy Spirit, which I'll tell you the Holy Spirit is nothing but the voice of Chaos Evil. And to simplify that, the Old Testament is evil, and the New Testament is evil purporting to be evil. And that's it. There's no argument. There's nothing else. It's just what people want to believe, and I don't really care about all that anymore. So anyway, so the white line in my labyrinth is the white line of source and your intent.
Now, just so people understand the term evil, they're going to be feeling that this is really evil, it's really bad, it's horrendous. What do you mean by that term evil? I think that's important for people to understand in the concept.
Chaotic evil, the parasitic way life was set up in the first place, and humans just being made to be tortured, which most people will never believe because they believe all the channelings still and all the rest of the rubbish, and they can keep doing that if they want. That's not a problem. But that's a whole nother can of worms, and I've spoken about it before, and most people just don't want to listen, so I don't particularly care. So the ram's horn is the code, and we talked about this in the videos, in the Unified Magic videos, quite a lot. We talked about it in, I think, possibly the video we did about Colin Bloy, etc. So the ram's horn...
is that the basis one that we did?
Yes.
Okay.
So the ram's horn, this code was used by the 007s for MI6 to do the ritual Kabbalistic magic against the West's enemies in the past. And the ram's horn, the point of the ram's horn always faced outward. And the side that the ram's horn actually affects is the side of the two circles, the red circles.
Now, the thing about the ram's horn is it's a torsion field device, is that right?
Yeah, and it's just part of the machine code. So every planet has a machine code created and designed by the Elohim. And it's how you program the whole of the Earth grid. And people, you can look up pictures of the Earth grid and you'll see this ley line system drawn up around the planet and other stuff. And you'll see different versions of it and other things. And if you can imagine all that put together and a lot more, that makes up the Earth grid. But the ley line system is the easiest way to manipulate humans. So I reversed and this code, the ram's horn code, is everywhere. It's at Stonehenge, Avebury, Silbury, obelisks, monuments, everywhere and anywhere where there's a node point. So all I've done is turn them all round on the whole planet. And the checkerboard sucks in all the C space, complex number space. We've talked about that realm. And it sucked in all the complex number checkerboards from every Masonic lodge and everywhere else in the planet, even the ones built by the Elohim at Stonehenge, Avebury, Silbury. They've all been sucked into this one. So the ram's horn is the code for love. And it's been subverted. It was just had all this evil hidden in it, and on one side you've got anti-good, and the other side they hid death and destruction. How is humanity ever supposed to create a loving world when the energy they're using has got this subversion and everything going on, and they don't know? And when you tell them, they just tell you you're wrong because some faceless alien channeled it through someone they've never met, and it was written on the internet. And that's the madness of it all. And I'm not going to go on about that. I've banged on about it for years. I don't care anymore. People can do whatever they want now. So the one So the labyrinth with what I did, I made the green circle smaller, and the green represents the green line of Abraham. The white line is the middle pillar of the Kabbalistic tree, and the red line is the other pillar. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to read. We've just done a write-up of the Grail technology and how it's just turned into the twisted Grail. I'm just going to read this to you first. Freemasonry is the use of ancient technology of Babylonian and Egyptian and Sumerian earth energy mechanisms to control the earth's quantum wave function in the surrounding area to control the humans who are within the subverted energy field. In order to operate this system, you first need an intelligence to operate it that can flow through the earth energy ley line system, and to which this is its assigned medium. These intelligence subversion programs are called the Elohim. Colin Bloy, the MI6 Magus, used this to destroy the Unions and the Soviet Union for the Rothschilds and the Crown, and were given a Grail stone, by which means he could interact with the Elohim and become their servant. They disclosed to him their aim, their subversion program for the Earth's quantum wave function with respect to Earth energies, which is disclosed to the privileged few who own a copy of the Grail pattern. The 6 Grail stones are copies of this Grail stone given to Colin Bloy by MI6 to bring down their enemies and operate in the 6 directions of Kabbalistic space. Not directions, but in fact we're operating the male principal vowel, denoted by number 6 in gematria, which makes wishes solid. The patterns start with lines which connect power centers and end up with the Grail, which converts the 6 directions of the male principle to the parasitic leeching of the Elohim and stops the architects from falling into chaos, denoted in the matrix by Agent Smith. So the entire Elohim subversion of the human race through their avatars, the Illuminati is running through one earth energy pattern called the Grail, and its weapon system, the Ram's Horn, which in the Grail patterns, in its many forms, is the corruption and subversion, degradation, leading to utter pollution of love to feed the Elohim. Since the male principle is needed to turn wishes into material manifestations, as well as degradation of the Elohim and their reality into total chaos, you need the Ram's Horn of love to subvert the male principle. One example is the Wicker Man, who breeds with a witch to produce another witch, as in the Wicker Man film, whilst he himself has dedicated his life to saving the Elohim chaos reality from its karma in the role as a policeman. Another example is the Christ principle, who dedicated his life to reaching the source and becoming the Son of God, and then being tortured to death to save his wife Mary Magdalene and her children from their inevitable fall into utter chaos, which requires him to save the world and all the dead souls past, present and future. The genius of the Grid Keeper was, and I didn't write this bit, the genius of the Grid Keeper was to build the 2 totally broken Grails which destroy the past, present and future, every attempt by the Elohim parasite to use source energy to stop them and their creation falling into chaos. In this process, all the soul energy from the Wicker Men and Christs came to the Psylord and any real vampire who walks a proper Grail. The excitement doesn't end there. The Ram's Horn is reversed, so in the future the Elohim, as well as their reality, to destroy them and paradoxically turn all of their goodness into evil forever to enable the above eternal total torture of everything chaotic. Where does that leave us? Who can we feed off? Can we feed off the carcass of Zion and its Elohimic former masters? Well as we can see from Grid Keeper's divine As we can see from Grid Keeper's divine incompetence, these broken Grails destroyed America and NATO's plan to rule the world and kicked them out of Afghanistan. Further to this, Biden's incipient Dementia has now taken him over to the point where America is a headless chicken in a migrant abattoir. Gutless Europeans squirm at the thought of fighting their way out of a brown paper bag and are shit scared of the influx of people that will make Europe a melting pot of pure shit. And then there's some more, but I'm not going to read it out. So,
why not?
Yeah. It's a bit explicit, really.
Well, go ahead. I mean, we're not scared at Basis. We are interested in the real deal and the information for others to understand and become more educated. Is information.
It's just an extension of the TikTok stuff that we did before.
Do you want to talk about the TikTok stuff, because some people have been very disturbed by that or don't understand it?
I don't care. That's their problem. I'm not here to save anyone anymore. I've done this. It's, I've just destroyed Zion and the Illuminati's one world order. And it's changed the past. There was no, because I destroyed their last Grail state. It means it never worked for them in the past. So all the Elohim's realities are broken in every universe that they created in this megaverse. And it also means that I've just changed the past so that Jesus was never resurrected. And do I care to argue with people about that on the internet? No, I don't care. It's not something I believe.
Are we being a little bit
No,
I'm aware of your frustration and the scale of things.
No, I honestly don't care. I'm beyond it, because Tim spent years trying to tell people. I've just spent a few years giving up a lot of time to tell people, and it's handfuls of people, and everyone thinks they're one with Source, and they're not. They're one with the Elohim and Chaos Evil, and you just can't tell them. I'm talking about almost everyone. There's probably only 500 people out of 7 billion people that have actually stepped forward into Source after what we've told everyone, and I don't know what else we can do. It's not all cotton wool and butterflies and unicorns, and I'm not going to pretend it all is. And yeah, I'm just telling you what's happened. That's all. People want to help themselves or not. That's totally up to them.
Okay, so
to
understand this, when you say you've done this or this has happened, what do you mean? Because they, if you haven't seen the images and things, what does that mean when you've done that? If you can say that.
Layman's terms, I broke the Earth grid. There you go. Gridkeeper broke the Earth grid, so no one can use it. There you go.
What is that? The Leyline Earth grid? Because a long time ago.
All of it. And you'll have people telling you otherwise and all this other stuff, and it doesn't matter. They can all believe what they want. It's all about the end of Zion now. It's done. It's a done deal. You can't revoke any of it. The last Grail pattern of the Elohim is destroyed. You can't rebuild it. It's an impossibility. Yeah, so you could say I accidentally built the ultimate paradox engine where chaos now gets tortured eternally, and it's the only way to release Source within this megaverse. And the paradox is that chaos didn't steal the Source energy in the first place, but must suffer for it.
Now, this was a mistake. You didn't set out to do this. Is that right?
No, no, I didn't do it with intent. I didn't do it with intent. And if you look at it like that, it's because I'm not just an aspect of Source, I'm also an aspect of chaos. You look at my lineage, which we've talked about, and it's never about, it's just about understanding the truth and all that stuff. Egypt, all the pharaohs, all they ever did was possess themselves with archons, with evil, and the Elohim. That was it. It's all it's ever been. It's always been that. So even though I turned to Source, you don't instantly zip back to Source in an instant. It takes time. So I've also still got an aspect of chaos. So as an aspect of chaos, I did it to myself. So I did it to chaos. you know, and then all the Ra stuff. The Elohim, I've told everyone before, the Elohim wrote Revelations to stop anyone believing all of this now. They knew this was going to happen. Everything they've ever done in religion in the whole world was to stop this from happening, and it's just happened, and it's epic. It's the
So
most,
they tried to booby trap the future from the past.
it's the most epic thing that's ever happened to humanity since the creation of humanity. It's beyond epic because it's affected everything in the universe. You know, so you know, all universes built within the megaverse are now broken from the Elohim's perspective. All Grail states used in past history, going back to the first spark from the demiurge, Yaldabaoth, have been rendered useless. You know, Christ was never resurrected after taking a massive hit to try and reboot the Elohim. You know, with the biggest example in living history of the future rewriting the past, which is what I've told everyone the Elohim and Jehovah have always done. They kept using these codes to go back, using the fifth dimension. They're fifth dimensional beings. Everyone's like, oh yeah, I want to go to the fifth dimension. It's great there. Yeah. There's evil there as well. I don't know why people don't get this, you know? Well, they just brainwashed by all the channeling. So Jehovah and the Elohim went back in time over and over again, rewriting history to try and change it. And Revelations is not about the past. It's about exactly what's happening now and what's just happened. And everyone's missed it.
So in essence, what's happened is that because you didn't intend it, they didn't know it was going to happen. So it was an event that was not random, but something which was not predictable.
Yeah, and that's when all these accidentally building a paradox engine. Never thought I'd ever say that, but I do know. You know.
Well, I think you can only accidentally build something which is a paradox engine. Isn't that the whole point?
Yeah. And it's a giant.
It has to be an accident.
Yeah, and it's a giant standing column away, and you can't stop them, and it's done. So, and we'll do another couple of versions, and then we'll reboot it for the humans that actually want to actually do something about it. And it's the only working, and this is a controversial one. It's the only working ascension engine on Earth, anywhere. The only one that works. There isn't anything else. Nothing.
Okay, that's a big statement. How does that happen? Yeah. How can you say that? What's wrong and what's right? Why does yours or this device you're talking about work? And others
shut it. Because I blocked the Elohim, and all the others were just Elohim programs. You know, everyone claiming they're going to ascend. There's nothing good about that. It's all fake. It's all Elohim. All of it. All of him. All of it. And people can't believe it because they're so taken over by chaos. They haven't got the intent to see the wood from the trees, really. You know, they really haven't. And what do? You just bang your head? Should I bang my head against the wall until I'm dead, trying to wake everyone up, and then I just die and waste my life? No, not doing that. I did that before, and it gets you nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. And if you look on the internet now, Nazar is coming on 9/11. Didn't you know that?
Well, I have to say, Duncan, I had a very, very interesting experience today, and it's a means of communicating. Is when you have random events. Let's get this done, and I'm going to show this number plate. Well, I don't need to show it. I'll because it's somebody else's number plate. But the bottom line is that today, my father is Thomas Carter Johnson. His initials are TCJ, and just going through a roundabout, the car in front was TCJ 911.
Really?
So my father's initials have appeared on a number plate randomly right in front of me for a sustained period of time. So I am taking that personally as some kind of message from my father about 9/11. And we're heading, what we're talking about right now is September where the hell it is, 9th. That's his birthday. What day is today?
Yeah.
My father's birthday is tomorrow, 9/9. 9th of September. And on the eve of that, he sent me a message on on the eve of his birthday about 9/11. That is a big
Well,
deal. And now we're talking this thing now.
yeah. And the male principle, they do these world rituals. And if you look at 9/11, and I can tell you, I can cut you through all the bullshit, all the stuff about 9/11 that is true, but it doesn't really mean that much.
Now because there's so much involved with that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bullshit, a lot of stuff. Which could you identify which is the one you're talking about and which is the one you're not talking about?
Twin Towers.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
So if you cut through absolutely everything and you go to the core, what's the prime? You find the prime reason for the first person that had that thought and thought about this idea and produced that thought in the imagination realm of complex number space, where it's then built and talked about and discussed with more people to then bring it into manifestation into the real world. And if you look at the core reason is just to steal more energy from men. So you conduct a world stage ritual where you get the observers of the entire world to collapse the quantum wave function of the entire earth, because they're all possessed by Elohim. And you then bring all the blacks in America into the Abraham ritual and steal the male principle from the males, and it adds to the manifestation power of the Elohim and the Illuminati, etc.
Is that not also the reason why they're sending all the African from North Africa?
Yeah,
they are being driven out of North Africa into Europe. Thereby their homeland is being destroyed by those.
And you won't hear this talked about anywhere because it's a core secret. And that's why people don't believe it, because we have all this information and a lot more, and more than them.
So the good African people are being conned, and they're being deprived of their means of defending their homeland against these creatures.
Excellent. And they're all so much Christianity in Africa as well.
And we're talking about the stuff that's been corrupted since about AD 500. Is that right?
Hey, what you want to look at? You want to look at the charities that advertise on television. I've never spoken about this.
A lot of them with connections to certain charities which traffic certain beings.
Especially Save the Children and Save the Girls. And what you want to do, I'm not going to say their names, but you'll know when you see them. Just look at the phone numbers, look at the numbers, and then remember some of the things we've done in videos. And especially the charity that's promoting Just Save the Girls at the moment, look at the number 00718. And there's some other numbers as well. But do you remember when we did the 007 video and Tim wrote those numbers on the board and he told us what they did? And it's to bleed the energy from women. And they've even got the Kabbalistic codes in the fucking phone number on the television advert. And
Ofcom, of course, have got no party in this. Ofcom, who approved these adverts,
phone number.
Wouldn't know about this stuff, would they? Ofcom's clean.
You're getting all those millions of observers to look at that, create that ritual for you by observing it on the television. And that's just scratching the surface, mate,
I'm sure Ofcom would have no idea what you're talking about.
Sit here for weeks and rip the West apart and everything that's wrong with it. But people need to wake up to the real reality of it all they're done for. But there we go. Be an Elohim or don't be an Elohim. That's the choice humanity's got. Evolve or don't. That's it.
But the evolution they're being given is actually fake. They're being tricked. Is that what's happening?
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course. Because it's the Elohims. They're only here to feed off humans. They don't care about anything else and use humans to create a reality, which then they can use. Yeah, it goes off into all the space beings that are possessed. They allow the space beings to farm humanity. Everyone gets a piece of the pie. Yay, happy for them, shit for us. Yet we're all down here. Oh yeah, we'll all do this and it will get better. We'll all go, and then you think you're going to get there, and the carpet gets pulled away from you, and then around you go, and I just stop that circle from continuing anymore. No.
Well, I think that's a good time to call it a day. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Well, thanks, James.
I won't be talking about this anywhere else. Not like this. Just with you.
The Basis Project. Little old Miles
Yeah.
Johnson from Lurgan in Northern Ireland. What have I done?
Well, there we go.
It's interesting that the other day I was up in a place in the Cotswolds, and there was a big Aston Martin, one of the new ones, really nice, and 007 on the number plate.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Okay, Duncan Davis, until next time.
Yeah. Cheers, geezer. Speak to you later. Bye.